Welcome, welcome. This is Heart-Centered Sales for 20K months in yoga. Yes, in yoga. My name's Summer Huntington. I'm here at my micro studio in Bellingham, Washington. You can see behind me here, I have just a little zebra mat set up. I've got rad roller equipment, steel mace, some plants, a little altar. I've got my equipment here. My desk is here. I love the micro studio model. You can also build this in your home because it allows me to be really efficient with my time. And as a busy mother of two, and I also have a real estate business, and I also do a lot of other things in course production, I want to know that when I come to work, I can get everything done and leave it at home. And so that's just one thing I want you to kind of be thinking about is where do you want to conduct your business that's professional and that has really, really low overhead. My overhead here is about $700 a month. It's 2 rooms. I have another room back there, but everything is scalable. Everything that I do, I can reach a broader audience in the US and overseas because I'm really focused on maximizing my time and maximizing high quality premium courses that either provide a transformation or are allowing the client to facilitate behavioral change, mindset shifts, and a dedicated and consistent movement practice. Welcome everyone who's popping in. Let's see, if you're new, if you're just popping in, pop your name in the chat and what you're hoping to learn specifically. Santana from Ontario, here to learn all the things. Santana, I put your question actually in the presentation as well. So I got that in there. Awesome. Okay, let's get into a screen share. Give me just 1 second here. And I'm gonna pull up my Canva slideshow for all of you guys. And so 2-step process, we go share screen, and then we go into present mode. And I'm going to ask whoever's on video, once I get into full screen, to give me a thumbs up that you can see the whole entire screen and just me on the bottom. Thumbs up if you see that. Perfect. Okay. Okay, so come to a nice grounded place, really get into your body, into your soma. And you can start with a little somatic check-in with what feels alive in you right now, what feels activated, and maybe what feels not activated or what feels tense. So quick body scan just at the forefront before we go into all the analytic stuff, because there's a lot of hard style teaching in here. Hard coaching is what I call it. There's soft coaching and then there's hard coaching. You're going to learn a lot about numbers today. So tune into the place that feels most grounded, open, and expansive right now. Take a few moments to just come to your breath. And we'll use that as an anchor when we get into more of the analytical brain. We want to come back to that energetic center that feels most open, expansive, light, and airy. All right. So day 1, premium pricing and program design. Today's really going to lay the groundwork for heart-centered sales because it's really not just the sales meeting or the clarity call or the sales call that is doing the selling for your program. There's so much that leads up to it that I really want to cover in detail so that by the time you get on the phone with someone or in a Zoom call with someone that you've laid that groundwork and selling is going to be a lot more simple and easy. I'm going to go ahead and turn my volume down. Hopefully I just see people as they're coming in. Okay, so if you do stay till the end, I'm going to give a little code word for a little mini course that I'm creating live, and I'm just basically going to house all the content on Stanstore, my favorite app. And it's a 14-day somatic release series. They're quick 20-minute somatic, 20 to 30-minute somatic exercises that we'll be doing over the course of 14 days. And they're really designed to help you release any bound tension or move through stuck emotions in specifically the hips, the heart, and the throat, which are the 3 energetic centers that we really need to make sure are really activated to get into heart-centered sales. All right, so a little bit about me, who am I, and why I care about this work. So I founded a system called Steel Mace Vinyasa. You may have heard of it, you may have not. I also just mentor yoga business owners and entrepreneurs. I've been a content creator for about 15 years and published several online courses, probably about 12 or more courses. I'm in the middle of another production right now, but I've been doing this for a long time before it was trendy and before there was such streamlined apps to house course content on. I call myself a holistic movement coach. I've put in over 50,000 hours of one-on-one work and group coaching and workshops and retreats as well. In my career, I've been a professional movement coach for my entire professional career and earned my master's in kinesiology early on at about age 25. I'm a mentor and business coach for the last 10 plus years. I help with developing brand, content creation, and really streamlining yoga offers. I'm also a flow coach. So I'm really, really keen on this concept of flow state and have done a ton of research on how to facilitate flow, both from a physiological perspective, how do we train it in the physical setting, as well as the neuroscience of flow as well. I'm also an advocate for yoga entrepreneurs to step into the coaching space. You've probably seen a ton of pop-up coaches with a fraction of the experience that you have, and you're ready to jump into that. The yoga industry, sadly, is behind by about 10 years or a decade in coaching. And so my job is to bridge the gap between what is already existing and what people want, which is mindset coaching and behavioral change coaching, and merge that with the yoga industry. I'm also a Gemini. I'm a flow arts nerd. I love going to workshops and dance intensives. I'm a mother of two, currently pregnant with baby number 3 on the way. I do own 2 tiny homes and live on a community arts land project for the past decade, and I serve on the board of directors and am their treasurer. I'm really into Butoh, which is a very avant-garde style of dance that originated in Japan. Check it out. And I call myself a self-proclaimed somanat, super interested in somatics and how to bridge the gap between yoga and facilitating somatic learning or a deeper connection with the felt sense. All right, so type it in the chat. Who are you? Yogi number 1, just put 1, 2, 3, or 4. You're an experienced yogi with 5 to 10 plus years experience of teaching under your belt. Drop a 1 in the chat if that's you. Yogi number 2, hobby teacher. You're teaching around at studios, maybe 1 to 4 years, maybe you have a couple clients, but it's not your full-time job. You might have another full-time job. Yogi number 3, brand new yoga teacher, excited to learn and really wanting to plant the seeds of building a business in yoga. And yogi number 4, you might be a yoga teacher and some other wellness professional, like a massage practitioner, a therapist, a trainer. Go ahead and just pop it in the chat, and I'm just going to take a peek here. Okay, so we've got Robin and Coach Stacy, who are both in Flow Coach Accelerator, number 1. Experienced yogi, Santana, hobby yoga yogi, Tani, number 3, brand new, Phoenix, number 2, okay, hobby teacher, Jody, professional yogi, Tracy, professional. I know Tracy and I have chatted, 20 plus years experience. Chantel, 3, number 1. Okay, cool. This gives me a good idea about who is in the room. And the model for this transcends all levels. So you can get started whether you're brand new, whether you're a hobby teacher or an experienced yogi. These are business principles that I'll be teaching you to really focus in and narrow in on what you offer, who you offer it to, and how you go about selling it through content marketing and your sales pages and your sales process, your heart-centered sales. All right, so when you saw the name of this workshop, it either triggered you, inspired you, or seemed completely unattainable, but you're curious, so you thought it'd show up. Type it in the chat, which of these 1, 2, or 3, or maybe a combination. What happened for you when you saw the name of this workshop? And I was very conscious when I created the name of this workshop, I knew that it would be pretty unattainable for most folks, just because I've spent so much time conversing and in heart-centered sales for the past 2.5 years with yogis that want to build a business, and generally they're nowhere near 20K. But it is possible, we just have to have the right strategy. And so I purposely created the name, with 20K months in there, because I wanted to allow you to imagine a new path. And I've seen it, it works. It's worked for me, but it's definitely rare if you're following the old model. So just keep an open mind to switch into a new model. All right, so let's talk a little bit about value. So oftentimes what I've seen is yoga teachers, when they first start charging for their services, they feel guilty for charging a certain amount. They want the yoga to be accessible to everyone. There's maybe some shame associated with charging what they're worth, or they just really don't see the value in what they're offering. And it's likely because the industry has kind of told us that we need to have low cost drop-in classes or by donation or whatnot. So it's not necessarily your fault that is the case, but what you should think about is this idea of the 10X rule. So when people make a buying decision, they're not buying your program or all the videos that you put into it or all of the little checklists and tracking sheets and everything that you built out. Yes, that stuff's important, but generally they're buying because they feel something emotionally. And your yoga offer should offer 10 times the amount of value that you price it at. We're going to go into a little bit of detail on what that looks like. So here are 3 pricing models that you should consider. We've got group yoga, which is about $10 to $20 a class. This is a low ticket, high volume business model. Most studios are in the low ticket, high volume model. We've got one-to-one coaching, which is generally about 120 to 180 per hour, depending on where you're at in the country. I've charged 250 to 440 an hour for one-on-one coaching. Premium transformational coaching is a little different. It's more of a course that's designed to get a client a specific result. And it's usually about 3 to 4 months in duration, and the price point can range between $2,000 and $3,000. So let's break these down a little bit so that we understand the client demographics that are actually investing in these 3 different offers. So for individuals that attend group yoga classes, think about the last time you went to your yoga studio. You probably saw some able-bodied folks, lots of younger yogis in fancy yoga apparel. Everyone's looking like a Aloe ad, a Lululemon advertisement. You might have some older fit yogis that have confidence, that have been doing yoga a long time. People comfortable in group environments. These people are self-motivated and they don't necessarily need accountability to go to class. No one's telling them to go to class. They're registering on MindBody, they're showing up, they're doing the thing. They're generally paying between $90 and maybe $120 a month to have an unlimited class access to a group studio. Now, the value in $10 to $20 a class, or roughly $100 a month, the value to them is they get to stay in shape, they're building community, and it feels good, right? They don't have a chief complaint that these other demographics that do invest at a higher level have. And so I really just want you to think about that the people that attend group yoga do not have a specific health concern that they need coaching and accountability and structure to overcome. And that's why the classes are priced in this way. And that's why this is a very tricky price point. Please mute yourselves as you arrive. If you're just coming in, I'm going to make sure everyone's muted. Cool, thank you. All right, so one-to-one coaching. The client demographics, very familiar with this demographic. It's generally going to be aging adults between ages 45 and 65. They may have a history of injuries or pain. They're potentially deconditioned. They really need to focus on their form, and they want the eyes on them. They really value that. They don't want to get injured. Injury costs them time off work. It costs them time away from their family. There's a mental, psychological cost with having an injury as well. They need accountability, probably for lifestyle related things. They might be wanting weight loss, or maybe they have to adjust their diet, or they have really high amounts of stress and they need accountability for the lifestyle factors. That's what we're coaching on. They do need consistent training to see a change. They're not motivated by themselves to go to a yoga studio. They don't feel comfortable in group environments as well. So the value, this is where the 10X value comes in here. So they're paying 120 per hour, or in our case, this is like the starting rate for our flow coaches. They start at 120 an hour when they're providing comprehensive wellness coaching and movement coaching. But the value is really 10X. So let's say a package is like $1,400 for 12 sessions, somewhere around there. They see it as 10 times the amount of that investment. It saves them thousands of dollars in health-related bills, saves them thousands on therapy and mental health-related bills, provides longevity and functional fitness for things like hiking, gardening, playing with the grandkids, confidence and fall prevention. So do you see how this demographic is interested in investing at this level because of the value, the 10x value. Give me a thumbs up if you can see that correlation. So take a note, this is the best place to start if you're beginning a yoga business, is to really fully book your one-on-one and build that social proof with your program. Eventually we can flip it into and add another offer, but I would say start with the one-to-one coaching first. It's going to be the easiest way to grow and scale your business to 10K. It equates to about 19 client hours a week is $10,000 a month. So what does one-on-one movement coaching look like? The services. So it's not just yoga. You cannot just teach a yoga class that you teach in a group setting to your private client and expect them to see the value of $120 to $180 an hour or a $1,400 package. We need other elements like the functional movement screen, which I teach in my Flow Coach Accelerator. We need mobility education and telling them the why, compensation patterns, motor control deficiencies, strength deficits. We need to educate them on self-myofascial release and give them tools to actually facilitate that on their own. I use a prime condition flow methodology, which really has a very consistent result. We prime the body through mobility, we condition and build strength with loaded asana, and then we do loaded flow to follow. And by having those three pillars in your teaching, that is a very specific technique that allows you to design a progressive program and move away from just randomized sequencing. That's a whole nother can of worms, but we'll dig into that a bit too. So people investing at this rate want to have a custom program that's unique to them and takes into account their injuries. They're interested in training flow state. They might be tracking heart rate variability, which is an indicator for stress. If you're new to the training world or the performance coaching world, look up HRV or look up the company called Whoop, W-H-O-O-P. We use Whoop wristbands to track our heart rate variability, and it tells us how depleted or strained our nervous system is, which can be an indicator for behavioral change as well. Meditation, the 4-day wave. So just take a little inventory and ask yourself, does your current one-on-one session have 1, 2, 3, 4, or none of these? So just take a little inventory. If you're curious about adding other elements into your one-on-one coaching, definitely encourage that as well. All right, and then the third service or business model here, we have our premium transformational coaching. So the client demographics for this offer generally are going to be more midlife adults, and they're self-motivated, so they're really interested in having like the online course piece and then maybe some group facilitation in addition to that. Their chief complaints, they may struggle with chronic health issues such as autoimmune disorder, chronic burnout, hormone imbalance. They want performance coaching and lifestyle coaching, and they're self-motivated to train at home. They are interested in a pre-designed program that really fits their specific health concern, and they're really interested in acquiring new skills. This demographic really takes ownership of learning, and they don't need as much hand-holding as the previous one, which really requires a lot of more one-to-one and relationship building. These folks tend to do well in a group setting, but you can also insert private one-on-one coaching as well into these programs and just have fewer one-on-one coaching sessions, which really allows you to scale the offering. So the value that these folks are seeing here, they're going to optimize performance at work, which may lead to raises and promotions. They're going to have fewer sick days. They're going to have more energy and stamina and enjoy their life. They're going to have better mental health, which saves thousands of dollars on therapy bills. They're going to have prevention of injuries and chronic health issues, which saves thousands of dollars on doctor's bills. And then prevention of hormone imbalance issues, thyroid, adrenal fatigue, and autoimmune. So for you, if you're here and you're in the age bracket of 45 to 65, tally up how much you spend annually on specialty visits to naturopathic physicians, to your therapist, to anybody that is having these type of issues. So you can run the numbers for yourself. You're a healthy yogi, you live this as a lifestyle. And then I want you to run it for somebody that's in your family, like maybe a parent or an aging individual that's deconditioned. And look at the cross comparison between your number of how much you spend on those health specialists and how much the person that's deconditioned or out of shape or not consistent with any of these lifestyle factors. And generally, we're going to see that person spending between, $5,000 and $10,000, sometimes upwards of $20,000 to $25,000 on specialists to help cure or fix their chief complaint, when really movement, yoga, and lifestyle factors could have saved them literally thousands of dollars. So that's an exercise for you to do between today and tomorrow, to really understand the value of what it is that you're offering. All right, so how to get to 20K months in yoga. So you need to know your value. We just kind of went over that, an exercise there. Run the numbers on a couple different people, people that you know and trust and that are willing to be your guinea pigs. Also know your best clients for these offers. Are you wanting to focus on one-on-one, or are you eventually wanting to build a premium health coaching program? Know your best clients inside and out. You should be able to clearly identify what they're thinking in the morning, the mid-afternoon, the evening, what's running through their head, what are the barriers that they struggle with. When we can speak and write copy and create content that really speaks to our ideal client, it allows us to build that trust that we're the authority in the space and that we are providing real solutions because we understand their problem. Create offers that you can scale. This is where the group and online coaching course creation is really hot right now. The digital marketing industry is set to be like a $25 billion industry. We have forever changed how we learn online, and it's continuing to be on the rise. And this is a really sweet opportunity in time to develop your course and to start building your brand. Serve your clients on a deeper level than just yoga. This is Coach Amber. She did my Flow Coach Accelerator program about a couple years back, and she developed a 115-page manual called the Rewire. It's her program, 12 weeks to redesign your habits and curate a life of sustained wellness. These are just a couple of pages from her manual. It was a beautiful manual, and she wanted to work with leaders, executive leaders and professionals that really wanted to optimize performance. Some pro tips for you to get to 20K months. You can do a little checklist here. Are you showing up professionally? Are you showing up early? Are you showing up on time? Are you showing up late? Do you have a professional workspace? There's so many aspects of showing up professionally. Are you showing up professionally in your brand, in your stories, in the content that you're putting out, in your emails? Are there errors and kind of grammar situations in your emails that are going out? Do you have contracts? These are all things that have to do with showing up professionally. Improve the quality of your service. Try to be your own client. If you were to come in and get a service from you as a yoga teacher, where could you improve the quality of that service? From the time they walk in the door to the time they leave, and then everything in between the sessions. Where are you providing follow-up, accountability? What are your boundaries around that? What resources do you have in place that allow you to provide a higher level of service? Next, provide solutions for your clients, not just a one-size-fits-all yoga sequence, but really customize solutions for your clients that allow them to become their best coach or become their own coach. Program design versus randomized sessions. This one's a big one, iterating on your work. So a lot of times people that I've worked with will put out their very first program and think, okay, I nailed it. I don't need to do any iterations. I've been iterating on the Steel Mace Vinyasa work for 15 years. I redo manuals, I redo programs, I tweak things in my Flow Coach Accelerator cohort every 6 months. I'm always in there optimizing and iterating, and you should be doing that as well and tweaking it until it is the best version of what it can be. Don't just put something out to put it out. Make sure that it is high quality, high caliber. And serve special populations versus trying to serve everyone. This is another coach that went through my Flow Coach Accelerator. She's holding the Steel Mace. Please note, you do not have to do the Steel Mace teacher training to do my Flow Coach Accelerator. It's open to folks that don't want to acquire that cert as well. But it is a great cert if you're wanting to specialize in functional movement and strength development. But you should do these 5 things. Number 1, write your program in manual form. So write it in Canva, super easy. All this stuff is in Canva. You take the Word document, you type it all up in Word, make an outline, and you move it into Canva, and you become your own designer. This is an amazing resource that did not exist when I first started making my manuals. 12 plus years ago, and you have it at your fingertips for $20 a month. So get a Canva account. Number 2, create an online course. It does not have to be huge, guys. So we're talking like 6 videos to start with. It's not an online library, and we don't call it an on-demand class library. That doesn't have a lot of value. That's kind of in the low ticket, high volume category. Instead, it's a course that accompanies your program. Number 3, beta test your program. So get out there and test it in the community, run shorter versions of it, get client testimonials, have some guinea pigs, and get them to start talking about your program and giving you feedback. I do recommend you integrate performance coaching and mindset. If you don't have that skill set yet, there are many ways to obtain those skills. I have a master's in human movement and performance, so my background is in optimizing performance via flow, and most recently in the past 3 years, somatics. Work on mastering behavioral change. This is a key part of coaching. This is what differentiates you from being just another yoga teacher that takes me through my flows. I could go to a yoga class for that, versus somebody that helps me when things get hard and things get challenging and I want to give up, or I'm having barriers to implementing my new lifestyle. This is going to be what makes you stand out and allows you to charge a premium price, is mastering behavioral change and in transitioning into a holistic movement coach. Let's take a moment to just drop back into the somatic check-in we did at the very beginning, because we've already covered quite a bit here. So take a moment to have a couple breaths. I know I talk kind of fast, and so I want to invite you to go back to that place in your body that felt most open, expanded, and grounded. And just digest what was just shared. And if you want to take any time to journal, one thing that you learned in that last little first third of the presentation, what's one thing you learned or took away? And if you have the ability to drop it in the chat, I would love to hear one thing or one new thing, one takeaway that you learned in that last little chunk there. So I'll pull open the chat while you guys are doing your grounding. This technique of going back to a grounded state when we go into like heightened, like analytical thinking, we're really shifting from the front brain, the analytical thinking. This is commonly associated with like a beta brainwave state where we're like problem solving, thinking, being in that mode, versus going back into the soma. So type one thing that you learned in that, and then we'll keep going. All right. So how to design your yoga programs in the digital world. So now that we know our client demographics and these 3 different models, we can go into the actual design piece. Jody said value needs to be 10x the emotional value to the client than price. Yes, good. Any other things? Okay. Let's talk about the nuts and bolts of what this looks like. So in our low ticket membership model, a video library, in order for us to reach 20K a month, if we're pricing our video library or our subscription between like $20 and $100, we would need to have between 200 and 1,000 new clients per month. In order to achieve that, we probably need a pretty big following on Instagram or social media, probably 20,000 to 50,000, and a large email list of 10,000 to convert 1 to 3%. These are numbers that I've seen in being in digital marketing and online courses for the past 7 years that I've been investing in business coaches. When you send an email blast out and you have an open rate of 30% and you have a click rate on that of even lower, and then you have a conversion rate, this is realistically the conversion rate that you'll see from promoting just through email and not having a clarity call or a human-to-human connection. Not really the best business model for everyday yoga teachers, because most people don't even have an email list or a large following. And it takes just as much marketing effort, like content creation, email blasts, freebies, all these things to generate 200 clients a month. You're going to be putting out that same amount of content as it does to acquire like 5 new clients in one-on-one. So I would definitely recommend, since we only have a finite amount of time, to really prioritize the mid-ticket. This is where most everyday yoga teachers should start until they're fully booked. So again, we're designing the program, which integrates yoga strength and functional movement and mobility. We're optimizing our intake process through a wellness consult, potentially going from free 30-minute wellness consult to 1 month trial or 30-day trial into a 12-pack, and then client retention after that, having the person continue to sign on with you every 3 months for a 12-pack. We're adding value. So we add value with program design, with accountability. I use Voxer for my private clients. I do check-ins on form. I add stress reduction resources like guided meditations and a lot of other unique stress reduction lifestyle things. I assign my clients to get body work and to go to float therapy and to go to the sauna because they need a down regulation day and they need me to actually be the coach and tell them, hey, this is happening on Sunday. Please implement it and check in with them. You might have a few pre-recorded homework videos, but you don't need a giant course to be able to conduct this. If you have a 200-hour yoga teacher training under your belt and 3+ years experience teaching, or even 2, you can teach private one-on-one. There's going to be a learning curve because they're likely going to have a lot more injuries and special needs. But if you can teach a class of 30 people with a spectrum of injuries and abilities, you can teach one person. The value lies in the customized program design, and I actually give my clients the Zoom recording of each session, and I assign them to do that session again at least 2 to 3 times between our next session, and they usually see me once a week. So this is just a quick little thumbnail that I made in Canva, and I put it on a StanStore item, 10 sessions. It has to be used in 12 weeks. It's one-on-one coaching. It has a bunch of all of the deliverables bullet pointed out, and it has the price point. So for 10 sessions, which I'm actually phasing out my one-on-one because I'm having a baby and I really want to focus on group, but I love one-on-one, so I'll always keep a handful of clients. But this package was a $2,500 package, so $250 an hour. And people love it. They don't bat an eye at the price because it has all of these other elements of program design within it and accountability. This model here, the high ticket premium coaching model. So again, we're designing a program and a manual, lives online, we create it once. We're optimizing the onboarding process. We're providing a deeper intake session that integrates somatics and mindset. Tackling bigger lifestyle changes. There's a lot of education. I have quite a few lectures on here where I've done similar slideshows to this, but in the realm of hormone balance, optimizing performance, cortisol, all the things related to my client demographic that they're interested in. I've created lectures, usually 90-minute lectures with Q&A, and somatics classes too. There's quite a bit of online course content. There's definitely got to be some group coaching in there. You can, like I said, usually have quite a bit less of the one-on-one sessions in this type of model, but because people are learning in the group container from you. So this is a very scalable model. It takes a little more time to build, so I definitely don't recommend starting here, but this is a great place to progress to. Once you've seen some traction and you've got your private one-on-one clientele building, you can start to build a second offer, which would be high ticket premium coaching. And I know a lot of marketing gurus out there. I've had quite a few of these coaches tell you to just focus on one offer, and that's a terrible idea. And here's why. If you just focus on one offer and you get no sales for the month in this, and you don't have another service to sell, it is really detrimental to your financials for that month. And so I teach now the opposite. I have a diverse offer suite with a low ticket like intro and a one-on-one offering, my premium coaching offerings, and my workshops. I have quite a few offerings because I serve both yoga teachers as well as private clients. And so each of those demographic has its full-on offer suite, which is what allows me to really scale my income. But if you're just focusing on clients, you can still build a diverse offer suite, which we'll get into. Feel free to pop any questions in the chat as you're popping in, or if things come up, then I can just kind of field them as they come. Megan says, I like the mind shift from what they get from the program logistically versus the benefits and overall value of well-being that they receive, focusing on how it impacts their life. Great. Chantel, being mindful of clientele and associated opportunities. Cool. All right, so here are 5 unique ways to add more value to your transformational program. This can be the one-on-one or the more group coaching model, the premium one. Number 1, biomechanics analysis on feedback via Loom. So we all coach movement. We all teach yoga. We know when somebody does a downward facing dog, when the arms aren't aligned or the pelvis isn't tilted, or the feet are too close together, or they're locking out their knees or their arms, or their fingers are bubbling up. Like, you can see that, right? So take that same idea of when you cue somebody to come into better alignment and apply it to Zoom or to Loom. So my clients will submit, I give them like you have up to a 5-minute video that you can submit for biomechanics analysis every single week. And they send it to me through Boxer. It takes me about 10 minutes to review it. So I'll review it, and then I'll have a Loom video going where I show them all the mechanics that they need to refine. And something really cool happens when they hear it and they see it on themselves. They actually start to refine their form and alignment even better than they would if I was just verbally coaching them through Zoom. So do use the biomechanics analysis feedback. It's a fancy way to say, I'm going to review a video and show you where you're misaligned. And it just sounds cooler to say biomechanics analysis feedback. Number 2, access to online course content. So if you're just selling your time by the hour and somebody is showing up and they are excited to have a custom yoga plan for the day, but that's it, and they don't have any online course content to do between now and then, they're probably going to seek that elsewhere. So they're going to start to dabble in other people's course content, and you want to have kind of all-inclusive. So your meditation videos, your mobility or restorative videos, just have a few videos. It can be like under 6 videos of online course content that they can access and use to implement the lifestyle change to start. And then over time, you can design that out a bit more. Number 3, custom program design. This entails knowing their compensation patterns, their performance goals, and being able to provide a progressive strength and mobility program that's going to get them to greater functional movement patterns. Number 4, adding a functional movement screen every 12 weeks so they can see their before and after testing on that. If you're not familiar with the functional movement screen, it's a screen developed by Dr. Gray Cook, and they use it as a predictor for injury in professional athletes. And so now it can be used with the general population as well. And it is very, very effective to just quickly see someone's hip mobility, shoulder mobility, hamstring flexibility, and also look at how they move. So do check that out. Again, we teach an abbreviated version of that in my Flow Coach Accelerator. Number 5, integrating lifestyle change and assigning specific homework to the client. So this is where you get to put your coach hat on. And if somebody says, hey, I'm really stressed or I'm having trouble sleeping, you can start to bust out your biohacks or things that you do to help them. Having a good bed night routine for people that struggle with sleep, drinking calcium magnesium every night, putting lavender on the bottoms of your feet, doing breathing or breath work with an eye pillow and lavender on a tissue, for example. These are all just little things that you likely do all the time, but you haven't formalized them into homework for specific chief complaints. And so you might benefit from, again, after this call or in between, just brainstorming what are all the lifestyle hacks that you use when a client expresses that they have dysregulation in their nervous system. What do you assign? What homework do you assign to them that can help them out of that? Bonus, if you know about somatic coaching or training the felt sense, you can add a ton of value in your programs by really educating on training the felt sense and what that means and how it looks. So somatics, I've been definitely interested in this field for the past 4 years. It was first introduced to me by a colleague, Trina Altman. We hosted a little Somatics and Flow virtual workshop at the beginning of a pandemic, and I hired my first somatic therapist, Dr. Scott Nichols, who has been actually on this course that I've created called Embodying Flow, and done a ton of research and reading. It's definitely self-taught, but I read a lot of Peter Levine's work. I'm always researching this on my own. I would like to eventually go through some sort of a certification, but I haven't found the one that I want to do yet. But I lean a lot on my master's in kinesiology and background in neuroscience to be able to bridge the gap for myself. And I found that somatic coaching, it's training the felt sense and teaching people how to tune into sensation and really having an understanding of nervous system regulation and the different degrees of sympathetic, where are they activated when they're in sympathetic Are they cold and numb, or are they seeing red? Are they hot? And how can we start to teach them better regulation skills and help them, again, become their own coach? So somatics is a field within bodywork and movement studies, which emphasizes internal physical experience and perception. The truth is, your best clients want more than just a yoga class. Your most aligned clients want to cultivate a deeper relationship with self, and they want to embody their highest self. And so my goal in all of the online courses that I've produced is to raise the bar in movement education and coaching so that it's a different experience and it stands apart from just another yoga class. All right, Lauren, we've got like 2 more slides before you're going to jump on. So if you're curious how to get started with building out an online storefront, this is Stan Store. I came across Stan Store from one of my coaches that I was working with and was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. How have I not known about this? Turns out Stan Store has only been around for like 3 years, but it's really hot in the digital content creator world, which I guess apparently that's where I'm in. And these are the elements that I recommend that you have. You should have a freebie opt-in. My client avatar is a little different than yours. Obviously, I'm working with yogis that really want to grow and scale a yoga business. So yours might be a different, like, free nervous system reset or some different kind of freebie here. So you want to have that freebie opt-in. You want to have an application to work with you and a scheduling link. I do not put my calendar link in mine because I have so many people reaching out. I have to do a lot more screening before I'll get on a Zoom call with someone, but this is the first step to get there. But for you, you should definitely have your Calendly link in there and a separate application to work with me. You can have online courses to sell your premium program. You can have a product like a one-off session as well. And you can have done for you courses as well. So the bare minimum, have a freebie, a scheduling link, and a one-on-one package. Some other cool features about Stan Store, it connects with Stripe, and I love it because it has a little dashboard and it tells me like how much I've earned for that week, which is really motivating. Really easy dashboard to use. I've used Kajabi, I've used Teachable, I've used quite a few different platforms, and this one has it connects with Flowdesk, or you can also just house your own email automations within it as well. And it helps you basically move the MP4s, like the file of this Zoom recording, for example. I can download this, make it an MP4, and drop it into a course and label it. And I can literally turn a course around in 2 hours. So from the time I have all my MP4s, I put them into Stan Store, I label them, I put a price tag on it, I write the description of the lead page. It's 2 hours, guys. Of course, the content creation is going to take a little longer, the program design, but it's the fastest way to build an online course that I've ever seen. And that's why I have Lauren here to talk a little bit about it. So this is Lauren. She reached out to me to become an ambassador for Stan. I was like, heck yeah, I love Stan. I'm already like promoting it to my teachers in training and my Flow Coach Accelerator folks that want to build an online business. And so she asked me about teaching a workshop, and I was like, yeah, I'd love to have you as a guest. So Lauren, I'm going to just invite you to introduce yourself and teach us a little bit about Stan.
Yay. Hi, everyone. I'm Lauren. Summer, thank you so much for having me. I'm a creator partnerships manager at Stan, and I have the privilege of working with our ambassadors. I'm learning so much through this. You know, yoga is not my expertise, but this space of the like creator monetization link in bio space is. I've been working in it for about 3 years now. So my kind of bread and butter is coaching folks on how to take their content and actually make money through it, and have you set up softwares and systems in place to help you kind of make money and run for themselves in your sleep. Really, that is my goal, to kind of alleviate a lot of those systems and processes that a lot of times can be super confusing. Summer, do you mind if I share my screen super briefly to just pop on into the back end of Stan? Just so I can give everyone, I love that you brought it up kind of throughout, different ideas of, what folks can offer and different ways they can offer them. I'm going to apply that actually directly to the back end of Stan. And this will be short and sweet. I'm going to try to keep this to around 10 minutes. But I'm really excited to walk you all through the platform, because there's nothing worse than jumping into a new platform and being like, what the heck am I doing? This is confusing and it doesn't make sense. So my hope is that you leave here having a better understanding of how you can use Stan. And Summer, I love that you already showcased your page, because I'm going to take over screen sharing here. Okay, awesome. So yeah, like Summer was saying, this is her page. It looks fantastic. I think she has it set up perfectly. I'm super clear on what Summer is offering. And I also think you do a good job of not having like a ton of different things on your store. It's not too overwhelming. And also there is, a freebie, sort of a higher ticket option, a middle of the road option as well. So I think that your store is set up beautifully. I'm going to pop into the back end. So if you guys were to go and set up your own store, you would know exactly where to go and maybe what products you would want to use. So I'm going to back up super quickly for just like 25 seconds and give a very high level overview of what Stan is. So Stan is an all-in-one creator storefront. I think I had someone ask, like, can Stan replace a website? And I've had lots of folks actually just start off with Stan because their goal is just to drive those conversions and to sell products. And Stan is the ideal place to do that because it's a 2-click checkout process. Every single second that someone is waiting for your page to load or the product to appear, that might be a moment that we lost them. So Stan is trying to alleviate that pain point for you and your customer. That's really how we got started. Our CEO is a creator himself, and he was like, it's super expensive and confusing to monetize your content. Let me build a software where you can do it all in one. And then Stan was born. So if we pop into the add product section, want to give a very high level overview of what these include so you guys know what you could go in and maybe add to your own store. Summer mentioned a freebie. I think that's super smart. A freebie is very, very valuable because really the goal of the freebie is to collect as many folks' email address and contact information as possible. So when you go to reach out to get new clients for one-on-one coaching, when you go to launch a new product, you have a pool of really engaged people that have already said, hi, I'm interested in what you are offering and saying, I want to learn more. So definitely setting this up is a great thing to have on your store. Everything that you set up on Stan is in the order in which your audience would view it. So for example, Summer designed her thumbnail first, right? That's what we saw here. And then she would actually upload the freebie itself. And then, you can even go as far as to customize the confirmation email. So really every phase of that customer journey. The digital product, that's a super popular one as well. That's like the passive income type deal where you make maybe like a yoga guide or something that you never really have to tweak or maintain, and it lives on your store. You continue to promote it, right? Or share it with your clients, but it's not as active as something like this where we're on the phone, you're one-on-one coaching, so on and so forth. I'm here. Oh, okay. Sorry. I was like, I'm hearing some echoing. Oh gosh. We have also a one-to-one capability. So if you don't feel like paying for an additional software like Calendly, we have that capability all through Stan. It's super easy. You just connect your Google Calendar and it's the exact same functionality. Stan operates as that paywall. And then when someone fills out their information, it automatically populates onto your calendar and theirs. And Stan covers all of the reminders. So if you do any in-person coaching or any online coaching, you can totally book it through here. Even in the checkout page, you can go and ask any questions that it's like the pertinent information you would need prior to the coaching call. I urge you to fill this out in here so that folks can give you that information prior to them booking with you. And then you would set this up exactly like Calendly. So, okay, where do I want to have this? Google Meets, Zoom? Do I want to do a phone call? What days do I want to coach and take calls? You can adjust that. You can adjust the hours in which you're actually taking the calls as well. And you can also block off specific dates. So if you're going on vacation, you have, maybe another career and there's some days you can't be available. No worries. You can do it through there as well. And then the custom product feature, as Summer, as you were talking about the kind of analyzing folks's videos and giving them feedback on that, I thought that was genius. And that's really what this product is. You can use various sites for this, but our custom product would work perfectly for it because it is like an audit type deal. So it's a hybrid between one-to-ones and digital downloads, right? Because you're not hopping on the phone, but it's still a personalized consultation and a great thing to start with if you aren't ready to dive right into like all the coaching, if you want to kind of get ramped up with this. So how this would work is, say Summer fills it out and it's exactly as she was mentioning. I forget the really awesome term that you called it, but I'm going to call it like yoga feedback.
Biomechanics form analysis.
Biomechanics form analysis. So say that's this, and I'm like, I need some analysis done. What she could do is actually add some questions here on like what I need help with. And she could even add a field where like someone could submit like a Google Drive link of their video, and then she would have that upon review, and she'd fulfill the order on the back end with that feedback, whether it be via a video or whether she writes up like a one-page guide on what she recommends. So lots of opportunity there. Courses, as also was mentioned, a really great way to host these is just through Stan. There's a lot of, course platforms out there. They do get pretty pricey pretty quickly, and this is included in our most basic plan. We also have the courses mapped out already for you. So there's kind of modules and lessons broken up, so it doesn't feel quite as overwhelming. You would just upload your own, videos and supporting materials with that as well. Last or almost last but not least, we have our reoccurring membership feature. So maybe you have some sort of Facebook community, or you have folks that are even like subscribed to a premium newsletters that you're doing. You can get really creative with it. But this is actually an opportunity for you to charge folks on a weekly, monthly, annual basis. And you can set that up all through Stan, and then they're charged automatically. You don't have to track folks down. Super easy peasy. And then we're in a webinar right now, exactly as, what we're doing. You can set that up through here too. So if you do any group coaching, live masterclasses, or webinars, you can absolutely host these through Stan. And then, of course, any external links or any products that you have hosted on other platforms, of course, you can still link those through here as well. And just to note, I don't want to take up too much more time, but this is all included on our creator plan. And then we have one tier above that also includes email flows and funnels. So if you wanted to send like an automated email campaign and set it up all directly through Stan, you actually can do that right in here. Disregard how many like example flows I have. Clearly I do this a lot, but there's flows and there's broadcasts. So if you wanted to send like an email blast to folks in your audience and community, whether it's everyone or whether it's folks who have purchased specific products, you can do that. And then a flow would actually be triggered by a specific product purchase. So if someone books a one-to-one with you, maybe this is like the one-to-one flow, right? And I would do that after, sorry, lots of examples in here. Maybe I would do that after this product. Maybe I'd want to remove them if they purchase something else. And then you would just create it easy peasy, write out your email campaign, and those would be automatically triggered through here. And then of course we have funnels as well. Funnels are basically designed for you to upsell products. So maybe you wanted to stack like your freebie and then like 30% off your course after that. If someone gave you their, email and name to market to them, that's a cool way to kind of have a one-time exclusive offer or discount there. And I use them, you all are in the coaching space. I use funnels as well as kind of like private landing pages. So maybe you have a call that's a friends and family discount. Maybe you have a call that you don't want just anyone to be able to book, but you want to have it on Stan. Great way to do that, because you can also completely customize the URL of it. So I could just send, this link versus my whole Stan store for someone to book with me. So that's a cool way to use the pro features as well. So I hope that was not too much information or too overwhelming. Summer, let me know if I missed anything there.
Thank you so much, Lauren. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad you went through that in detail. I use about probably a third of everything that Lauren just shared. It's still been super effective. I do have a 14-day trial that's actually in my Stan store. So if you want to check it out, you're welcome to do that. Lauren, there was one question. How does Stan store link and look on a website as opposed to on social media?
Oh, perfect opportunity to answer that. So mine isn't super fleshed out because I mainly use this for examples, but you actually can always see the phone version of what it would look like. So if someone, clicked on Instagram and clicked on your store, it would look exactly like this that we're seeing here. You always have that phone view when you're designing things. But we also just last year actually released like the desktop view as well. So Summer Store, for example, looks a bit different here than it would just directly on a phone. You'd probably have to scroll a little bit more to see all her offerings, but this is exactly what it would look like. And you can always test that both with the phone version here, and then everything that you're hosting on Stan lives through one link, right? That's the whole point, all in one. So you can always click on your link up here to see what it would look like in desktop version. That's a great question.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Lauren.
Yeah.
Any other
course.
questions for Lauren? Pop them in the chat. I will say that for most people that are purchasing things are doing it on a device and it looks the same. And so we're really just driving them to the sales page or the landing page. And we want to have the least amount of time to actually make a purchase. So they should be able to see the copy. I love Stan because you can embed videos into your sales pages as well. You can just drag it
Yes.
an MP4 and it's super plug and play. So yeah, that has been really amazing. And then I love that they have like payment plans integrated. So there's the clients literally seeing the offer, maybe they have a video option to watch, and then there's a price tag right there and it's just automatically filled. So that is super key when you're trying to increase conversions. Cool. I don't think we have any more questions. I don't see any other ones.
Awesome.
Want to pop them in the chat.
Yeah, I'm going to try to make you back to host. But thanks everyone for your time and for listening to me ramble on there about all things
Oh my
Stan.
gosh. And Lauren also told me at our last meeting that they're going to be doing a lot more education workshops and things
Yep.
for digital creators. And so that's included when you have a Stan store. When you buy a Stan store, it's like, I think it's between 40 for like the low, or I recommend the premium. I think it's like 99 and it's not going to go up. My Kajabi membership is $399 a month and it includes a fraction of this stuff, guys. So
Yeah, it's
that's out there, super cheap, super affordable, I should say. Not cheap,
yeah.
it's affordable.
It's a great platform to get started. 29 is the first tier, and we take 0% fees. And everything that I covered, with the exception of the email flows and funnels, is all included in that tier. And you can have unlimited products, and it's not like weird where it starts to go up if you hit a certain amount of sales or have a certain amount of leads. Like, they're fixed amounts, it's 0% fees. Yeah, and courses, all that can be hosted on the lowest tier. So lots of opportunity there, and hopefully a pretty reasonable price point, I feel like, for all that you can do. So it's a great place to get started.
Cool. Thanks, Lauren.
Yeah.
Okay, back to our screen share. Oh golly, stop the share. 1 second here. Is there any other questions for folks that are coming in? 1 second. Okay, there's my Google Chrome. I gotta minimize this. And then find our Zoom again.
Oh, I realized I was on mute. But I did see one other question from Santana regarding the ambassador program. But yeah, basically the ambassador program is designed to reward folks who are already crushing it on Stan. So Summer is a prime example of that. She was using Stan, she's making sales through the platform and also referring folks to it as well. So if you are actively doing that, there's a good chance that you'll hear from the partnerships team. We are only 2 people, so if it's a little bit delayed, my apologies in advance. But yeah, there's also a little bit more information regarding the ambassador program in our help center. And I'm going to send everyone in the chat a link to that. Any questions that you have or any products you want to learn more about, there's lots of video tutorials and information there.
Awesome. Okay. So in transferring Lauren over, I've somehow lost the Zoom room. So I'm going to do my best to pull it up. And basically what I'm going to do is just relaunch the meeting and hopefully I can just pop right back in and see it. But 1 sec. Oh, there we are. Okay, cool. It was dragged to the very bottom of my screen. Okay, so 1 second here. In the event you guys ever host a webinar, it's nice to have a little helper person. I gotta scroll to the right slide. I've gotten pretty good at this, but there's always fun techie things. You like have to toggle between screens. Here we go. Okay, so back to this and then present mode. Okay, can you guys all see Lauren's beautiful face? Thumbs up if you can. All right, sweet. Let's keep on cruising. All right, so why I recommend StanStore? I want to help you guys really think about the business model and have the fastest way to check out. This is why I recommend StanStore. It's easy to set up, it's affordable, it's versatile, it can be used on multiple Instagram accounts. A lot of folks I work with start with like a business account or they have a personal account. You can place your StanStore on both accounts and optimize it. This is a question I get often. So build the storefront and use it as a tool, a vehicle to help enroll people. I definitely don't recommend for beginners to put your $1,400 program on there. You want to put like lower ticket, more accessible things, and the Calendly booking link and the application to work with me, and then hosting webinars and free workshop series like this is a better way to build that rapport and then invite people to see if the program is a good fit and direct them actually to a program that would be aligned for their finances and for their goals. So just a quick note on that. The product URLs can also be linked to websites. So let's say I have a landing page. I can take that landing page URL, pop it onto my website and hide it behind a button, and it would just go to the StanStore checkout page. So you can definitely utilize it in that way too. I do love it because the sales pages are short, concise. I already mentioned this. You can include videos and have your checkout in one click. This is huge, guys. After being in online course sales and running multiple websites over the years, I do use, I use Squarespace for my website. I use StanStore for my Instagram. I literally use them all. So I'd love for you guys to just fast track and streamline and not have to use so many. These are the 4 offers you absolutely should have, whether they're visible or hidden as landing pages. You want to have a 1-month trial. So basically 4 to 5 sessions. You want to have a 12-pack of one-on-one coaching that allows the client to actually commit to a full 12-week program design. Eventually a premium coaching program. And then I do recommend quarterly hybrid workshops that are virtual and or in person. These are another form of a freebie opt-in, and they allow you to provide a lot of value, get people's hands on the yoga equipment or the tools you use or self-myofascial release tools. And as coaches, people need to feel our energy before they decide to hire us as coaches. And so I really like this way to invite a bunch of people into the room and help develop that rapport and trust with the audience. Again, these are just little tabs that I've created in Canva over the years with different programs. I'm always iterating on movement coaching and flow coaching. So these are just some quick little ideas for getting your thumbnails going. And different verbiage that will allow you to differentiate between online library, online yoga subscription. Don't use that stuff. Come up with some cool names for things and attractive branding. Why diversify in your offers? Not all clients want the same thing. Some clients do need to take a smaller step before committing to long-term coaching with you. Some clients want to attend a workshop before hiring you for one-on-one coaching. They want to see you showcase your knowledge and see how you show up and see how you speak and organize ideas. Some clients do prefer online, more autonomous training, and they don't even want to do one-on-one, whereas others really want more customized one-on-one coaching. All right, so here is a breakdown for how to hit 20K with a diversified offer suite. So let's say you have in your StanStore a 1-month trial, and then you have a 1-to-1 package that's hidden as a landing page, which again, we're working on this in Flow Coach Accelerator. All of my yoga mentees are working on this model. And then we have our premium program that we're building out, and this takes a little longer. And then we have our workshops that should be paid workshops. So in 1 month, if I sell 5 1-month trials 4 at $500 a piece, then that's $200 for that specific offer. My one-on-one packages, ideally your 1-month trial people should be converting their next ascension into the next version of service would be to go to one-on-one. So this is directly moves to this. This would be, let's say we had 4 clients renew that month for a 12-pack. Then that would be $6,000 in revenue. And a premium program, I will launch this through email and through social media. And I do quarterly launches for my Embodying Flow program. And I host workshops and other, I call them activation events, to get people excited about it. Even though the program's evergreen and it's running all year round, I create different activation opportunities to get people in. I change up the offer. I add different bonuses that are limited time bonuses. So lots of strategy involved in premium program launching. But let's say we get 4 people enrolled, that's 10,000. And let's say we have a workshop for, a 4-hour workshop, $200. We have 12 people at it. Again, people at the workshop should be going to a 1-month trial or a 1-to-1 package. We need to have a strategy in mind that we're showcasing our programs and our coaching here. Let's say 12 people come to my workshop. I should expect 6 of those to get on a clarity call and 50% of those to convert into clients. I can also email blast this 1-month trial to my whole list or to potentially the workshop participants and see people that sign up for the 1-month trial as well. So we want all roads to lead to either the 1-month trial, the 1-month package, or the 1-on-1 package, or the premium program. Questions on this? Does this seem crazy to have 4 humans do a 1-month trial? That's 4 hours of work. 4 humans doing 1-on-1 session, that's 8 hours of work. This is a weekend once a quarter, and the premium program is scalable. So this is literally 8 hours plus the 1 hour of group coaching. Maybe there's a group class, and this is 10 hours of work a week. Does that blow your mind, guys? Is that like, whoa? Okay, let me see in the chat here. This is great info. What's the difference between 1-on-1 package and the premium program? We covered this in the beginning of the presentation, Megan. 1-to-1 is just like a 12-pack of coaching, whereas a premium program is has a lot more course content and is more of a group evergreen model where it's more scalable. How many 1-on-1 in medium package? Generally, I did cover this in the beginning of the seminar as well. So it was a 12-pack in the medium package. So 12 sessions. You can do 10-pack as well, 10 or 12, but generally we want somebody to commit to like a 3-month term. And so I put an expiration on that as well. Any other questions about this? So I know the 20,000 can seem like really high. So we need to have like milestones to hit in order for us to get to the 20K. So if we were to just lower those numbers, basically I just took those middle numbers and lowered them here to show you how, if you sold 4 1-month trials, that would be 2,000 in revenue. If we just had 2 clients out of those 4 upsell into a 1-to-1 package at $1,500, that'd be $3,000 of revenue. If we had a smaller email list and we only got a couple people into our premium program, but they're rocking it out and they're doing it, that would be 5,000 in revenue. If we only got 8 people for a workshop, that'd be 1,600. So again, still very feasible numbers, but there's so much more that goes into reaching these numbers than just selling to someone. It's your content. It's building your email list. It's you showing up in your community. It's you starting to get a name for yourself or creating a name for yourself as a holistic movement coach and not just a yoga teacher. We need to transition from yoga teacher into holistic movement coach to be able to charge these type of rates. And we need to do the work of developing the program and actually getting our clients real results. So lowering their stress, getting them out of chronic pain, helping them have better functional movement patterns. These are the results that our clients are hiring us for. Here's how I hit my 32K a month. I've had higher months than this when I ran my brick and mortar yoga studio. I've had like 50K months before, but the overhead of running that studio was so high. I think the take home was like 8,000 or something on a 50K month. So now that I'm a solopreneur and strictly online and private one-on-one, I have a ton of passive course sales. So I'll run like a holiday special or whatnot for various courses. And that was 2K. I didn't have to do any fulfillment on those. My embodied yoga business school, I had 8 people at the 444 a month. That's a 3-month program. And that's like a membership version or membership model. So I'm just tracking the monthly, not the total cost of the program, which is about $1,200. My Flow Coach Accelerator and Steel Mace Vinyasa teacher training, which is a 100-hour cert that's recognized by Yoga Alliance. I had 18K in sales for that. Embodying Flow, premium coaching, 3 new enrollments, doing just email. I didn't do any sales calls for this. Private one-on-one, these are clients that have worked with me and just re-upping their packages, 5K. And then I ran a workshop, 2-day workshop in Richland that was a hybrid workshop, and it had people in person as well as virtual, and it included a manual, an online course, a 16-hour cert. This is a very good deal for $555. We made like $11,600 in a 2-day workshop. Of course, I had a model, I paid for photography. There's a couple other expenses, shipping manuals across the country as well as to the UK. So the total revenue was 11,000, but I did have some expenses and overhead with that. So it is very doable. Again, it's just all about scaling your offerings. So it is self-audit time. Please take out a piece of paper if you're watching the recording as well, or you can do it on your phone, whatever you want to do. How many offers do you currently have that have the write-up of the offer and the deliverables and a checkout page? And you can type this in the chat as well, because I'm actually kind of curious. How many offers do you currently have where I can go there and buy the thing? How many sales pages for your offers do you currently have? I guess these two things would be kind of different. Maybe you have offers that don't have sales pages. So how many sales pages for those offers do you have? These should definitely match. Even if they're hidden, you should have sales pages for every offer that you have. How many clarity calls or discovery calls or wellness consults, whatever you want to call them, how many like specific client calls are you booking per week where a client's coming to you with the potential to buy your services? And do you even know your current sales numbers? What are your current sales numbers this month, this past month, the past 3 months? I track my numbers every month. It's very motivating to me. I just taught a workshop last month on empowered money mindset, and having regular money dates with your money and getting to know your money and how it works and making decisions based on the actual financials of your business is a huge piece in transitioning from hobby teacher into yoga business owner. Another little audit here, self-somatics and mindset. You can see my little pregnant self here. So how many reels are you posting per week? Just write that number down. Doing a little audit. How many stories are you sharing per day? And how many have links to your offers in them? How do you feel when you present your pricing to a client? Does your voice inflection change? Do you have a moment where you're like, second guessing your pricing or your value? Do you feel anxious when collecting payment for your services? This is something I struggled with for a long time, especially with high ticket, because I've studied high ticket premium coaching for a while, like probably 5 years now. And I used to get so anxious when the person would pay. Between the time they would pay and the time they would sign their DocuSign contract, I would like have like anxiety in my body because I couldn't hold the space that I couldn't like hold the container for that wealth. And so if you're feeling anxious when you're collecting payment, let's talk about this. This is like a very common thing. You can click my Stan Store link if you want to do just a one-on-one business coaching. I have a couple, I'll open up a few more spots for that, but we can definitely tackle some of the somatic programming that comes along with holding wealth. So these are things I recommend. Diversifying your offers, handling your own DMs, heart-centered sales via Zoom, teaching free virtual master classes, super easy and fun, and you get to meet a lot of people. Writing email sequences. This took me a long time to master, but this is something that I love doing now. I actually look forward to writing my email sequences, and I do about 12 a month. And I batch it. It takes me about 2.5 hours, and then they're all set and ready to go, and I can do other things. I do share links in my stories, not every single story, but I usually do like 2 to 3 stories without links, and then every 3rd or 4th story has a link. Coaching clients through Voxer is another way to help really scale your time. I don't have to spend a ton of time or a ton of Zoom meetings. I can just send a quick Voxer over. So how we think about sales and money impacts our business. I just started a new practice called scripting, where I'm scripting my future self in July when my baby's due. And my goal is to actually double my income come July. So moving towards 60K a month is now my goal, and actually working like a fraction of the time, cutting my time in like a third, basically. So what specific actions are you taking to get to your goals? What is the value of your service? And are you detached from the outcome? I've been doing this a long time. I would say for the past 15 years, and just now, after all this time putting in the work, running a studio, mentoring people, I'm just finally reaching this point of income, and I want to fast track you guys to get there. But I had to be detached from the outcome of whether a course will be successful or whether it will flop or whether I need to take that failure as feedback. So do detach from the outcome to get to your next level. And then heart-centered sales is really just connecting and building relationships. And we live in a virtual world, so you can do pretty much everything that you used to do in person. Now you do via Zoom. So generally when I hop onto a Zoom clarity call, I'm genuinely there, detached from the outcome. I do not care if they sign up for the program. I never want people to sign up on the call. I always follow up and give them all the links they need to sign up afterwards, and people stay in touch. But that session, that 30 minutes we have together, is about connecting, building relationships, and truly listening to where they're at and where they want to go, and creating a shift in their consciousness with them. So that's facilitating a new idea of what is possible. Remember, if you're doing heart-centered sales, it's not about you and it's not about your program. It's about them. Heart-centered sales means listening deeply, inquiring and asking good questions with curiosity, asking for consent. I'll always ask for consent to record it. Sometimes people don't want to record. I'll ask for consent to give them advice or to give them strategy before I go about doing that. And I'm providing a path to solution because I can see their problem from like the forest from the trees. I can see the shortest path to get them to where they want to go when they can't see it themselves. So if you're new to sales, it is definitely, there's a learning curve. And a lot of people have some preconditioning about sales. Sales is a service. Sales is an opportunity to give a person a path to invest in themselves and to actually create change. So that exchange of money that they're giving you is actually them saying, hey, I'm committed to take your advice, coach, and implement it and commit to it as a lifestyle. And once we can kind of shift our mind to seeing sales as a service and an act of love and compassion and as an opportunity for energy exchange, I would say that's one of the biggest things that's helped me be able to get out of my own way about hangups on selling my offers. So our job is to witness the obstacle, allow the client to see the path forward, and create a shift in consciousness to believing a new way is possible. They have to believe that they can actually do the thing and make the change before they're going to put the money down. And then standing with them when it gets hard or when they get overwhelmed. I would say probably 50 to 60% of my Flow Coach Accelerator clients are extremely overwhelmed in the beginning of my Flow Coach Accelerator because they're learning how to level up their services, they're learning a new modality, and they're learning how to write copy and build an online storefront. And they're given the whole plan in the first onboarding session. And so generally they'll get overwhelmed and there'll be like this honeymoon phase where it's really exciting. And then usually like month 1 or 2, they revert back to their old patterns of overwhelm or panic or not knowing what to do, or just, just kind of having old self-limiting beliefs set in. So my job is to actually stand with them when it gets hard and to help them become their best coach, to coach themselves out of it and not let them give up on themselves. And I do this again and again with many of my clients, personal one-on-one clients as well. So you're probably asking what to do next. I definitely recommend to not go it alone. Fast track with a strategy, learn new skills, and start taking consistent action. I will be sending out my Calendly booking link to anybody that attended this to talk about either Flow Coach Accelerator or Embodied Yoga Business School as a starting point. My one-on-one coaching is very pared down because of pregnancy. And so I would say these 2 programs would be ones we can talk about. I'll send the actual sign-up links for this too. You guys will get a special discount if you're attending this for the next 7 days. And Flow Coach Accelerator is my highest touch business mentorship. So I think for this particular seminar, since most of you guys came wanting to get to 10 to 20K months, I would say this one's the fastest track to get you there. It's designed to get you to 10K months and build the business from the ground up. And the value, the 10x value is in that my clients are looking to grow their business to 100 to 200K per year to start in their coaching business. So you see how the 10x value, my program is not $10,000, but there is a huge value in creating an asset that allows you to scale your business and keep it earning. So the solutions I provide have been tested in the field. Here's a bunch of testimonials. It does require a shift in consciousness, though, for you to start charging those kind of rates. So you need to see yourself not as a yoga teacher, but as a holistic movement coach, and have the ability to facilitate behavioral change. You will also be challenged to create better and more consistent content and marketing strategy. You will actually learn to write better copy. You will walk away with a signature program to sell. That's required in my Flow Coach Accelerator. I audit that as well. And you will have the systems, the 5 pillars of business to actually acquire clients and be coached in that. You will have done the internal work to know your worth as a coach. And you will hold the seat of yoga teacher and holistic movement coach. In Flow Coach Accelerator, you have an option for 50 hours of CEC credit in kinesiology yoga, or if you want to go for the 100-hour recognized by Yoga Alliance, you have both of these options available to you. That's just embedded into the program, and it's really specializing in functional movement coaching while also building your offers. And then Embodied Yoga Business School is my other offer. This is more of a done for you program with 2 live coaching calls with me per month, and it's a 3-month container. You do get a huge manual with tracking manual with business checklists. You get community support. We do social media content training in there. You're able to sell your one-on-one coaching online. You get access to several courses. The difference between this and Flow Coach Accelerator is more on the realms of this is teaching you the 5 pillars of business, and you already are just selling your own offer, where in Flow Coach Accelerator, we're teaching you how to coach. We're giving you a lot more hands-on support with building out the store and the offering and actually auditing your offer in the manual. And you'll also have access to about 20 different manuals that our previous students have done as well. But this is a really great start for some of us. So I have a really great cohort in here that are plugging away at building content. Sometimes we just need to start small and get some traction. And a lot of people go from Embodied Yoga Business School into Flow Coach Accelerator. So here, if you're wanting to develop the 5 pillars of your business or set up your offers, your very first offers, or you want content support, just get some traction and build confidence, this is a really great first step. So again, I'll give you guys my Clarity Call link. I can probably pop it in the chat before we go as well. You can also just DM me and I'll send it over. But I'm opening up my schedule for the next 10 days to meet with you guys and do my own practice of heart-centered connection. So you will get a bonus month if you enroll by June 10th. I have some early action discounts for anyone who books Clarity Calls with me early, where you can get like $500 off the Flow Coach Accelerator if you decide you want to take early action. So lots of good stuff there. In the summertime, I have a somatic psychologist and professor who's going to be subbing in July and teaching his curriculum that he teaches at the Fairhaven College here. He's awesome. He's trained in Wilhelm Reich's method and does a version of EDMR, eye exercises, somatic exercises, very knowledgeable. Coach Alicia with a master's in kinesiology and 20 plus years in the coaching field, several certs under her belt, will be supporting program design. Elise is supporting Canva and Stand Store audits. Coach Adina in Austria will be presenting her Somatics and Flow online course. And then I'm working on and going to be launching, which you guys all will have the first access to, a beta test for a step-by-step training videos for setting up Stand Store, publishing your course, email sequencing, launch strategy, to publishing your signature program. And so every month you'll have a new assignment. Right now we have 1 assignment and there's going to be 3 additional ones. And anybody that signs up before I go on maternity will be able to beta test those new training documents that are very hands-on. Loom videos on walking you through Stand Store. Here's how to upload a video. Here's how to, automate your email sequences. And so if you struggle with marketing and you need lots of training and handholding, definitely get in on the beta test for that. I do foresee the price of Flow Coach Accelerator going up as we add more value to the program. So definitely get in while it's still at the same price it was 4 years ago. So if you stayed till the end, go into your Instagram and DM me the word somatics, and I'll add you to my list for our 14-day somatic release series for free. And you'll get access to the videos. That's going to be launching next week. I've got 3 days next week. You don't need to be present to acquire the videos. You can do the videos on your own time, but I'll be hosting 30-minute sessions, 3 next week and 3 the following. So there'll be 6 videos total. that are working through hips, heart and throat, and then combining elements of hips and heart together, heart and throat, and then the third one will be like all three. So if you struggle with having blockages in those areas, definitely sign up for that. Just send me a DM through Instagram. Okay, these are the questions I fielded. If you guys have any other questions, now would be a great time to pop them in the chat. So I had my team reach out through DMs to invite and re-invite everyone to the workshops. So one of the questions I got was, I'm curious, on average, how long does it take to grow income so significantly? Is that solely with virtual teaching or in person as well? Okay, so let me go back. So how long does it take to grow your income? This can happen within a matter of weeks and months, or it can happen, in a very long time, but there's so many variables that affect this. But I would say your business model matters, and your how you're showing up in your content really matters. And so I teach people to set up their Stan store in my Flow Coach Accelerator. You're setting up your freebie and the 4 things in your Stan store within 14 days. And then we're working on content creation to drive traffic to those things. So somebody that has a pre-existing email list of 1,000 is going to probably be able to sell out their offers a lot quicker than somebody with 0 email list. Somebody with 100 followers versus 4,000 followers, they're going to have different time it takes to grow the income. But if you don't have any offers to sell, and you don't have a freebie, and you don't have an email list, and you're not putting up content, that person's going to take very long time to get to even 5K a month. Or if you're selling the wrong offers, low ticket, it's going to take you a really long time. So if you're wanting to get to 10K a month, please write this down. You need 19 client hours at 120 an hour. So you need to break that number down. If I'm trying to get 19 clients, break it down into 4 clients a month for 5 months. Can you acquire 4 clients a month through your content, through putting out your offers, through putting out valuable resources to your community in the form of freebies, master workshops? You could potentially get 19 clients in 2 months. It's up to you. So there's just so many variables that go into this. But I would say the fastest strategy, focus on the one-on-one, get your client hours to 19 plus, and you should be getting to 10K if you can hit that. Let's see. I'm curious if you can share a framework of 0 to 20K steps and tips and tricks to get here. I think Santana submitted this one. And feel free, like I said, put your questions in the chat, so I'll answer the other ones as well. So tips and tricks are not what we're all about. We're all about strategy over tips and tricks. Strategy is going to win overall. Hire a coach. I've hired 10 plus business coaches specializing in high ticket sales and online course creation. And that's really what it has allowed me to get to where I'm at quickly. Work on your service. Your service should be amazing, and people should be talking about it, sharing about it. I see oftentimes on people that have graduated from my Flow Coach Accelerator who are producing their program and taking on clients, their clients are sharing and tagging the coach all the time. So they're wanting to talk about it. So the better your service is and the more life-changing and transformational and effective it is, your clients are going to start talking about it and then reshare their posts as well. And then mindset and daily practices. We generally are the ones that are the bottleneck of limiting ourselves to get to these higher earning potentials. Our relationship with money, our belief that the industry has to be accessible and that yoga should always be free or donation. There's a lot of little subtle mindset things that we need to take care of and address and become aware of in order to get to 20K months as well. But I would say break down your goals to hit your 5K goal, your 10K goal, your 15K, and then your 20K. And it might take you 6 months to a year to get there, but it's all about your offers, your content marketing, and how you show up on clarity calls. All these questions are very similar here. Oh, this is the first question. I think I already went through this one, but many variables, the model matters, content matters, networking, community, your coaching. Okay, this was another question that somebody submitted. It was Shelly. How do you set things up automatically, like the nitty gritty of setting up the website or whatever that accepts payments, website or whatever? So that's Stan Store, and that is going to be given to you in all of your assignments. So first assignment within 14 days is set up your freebie, set up your Stan store, and start creating 12 reels a month that drive traffic to Stan store. Pretty basic. Next assignment will be creating your first online course. So how to upload the videos, how to write the copy for the videos, how to do a proper email launch. So all of that stuff we cover, and it takes a little time to learn it. But once you exercise it as a muscle, think of like your first chaturanga or warrior ones. Like once you do things enough times, you become a lot faster. So don't be discouraged if you are slow or it's clunky or it's really hard to write those first 12 emails for your launch. Over time, you're going to get so much faster at it. And I have a ton of little strategies like using OpenAI to generate subject lines, or getting into Creative Flow to write all 12 emails in a 2-hour sitting and just automating them. So there's a lot of little tips that I have to optimize that as well. All right, so that is what I have. Let's see if we have any other questions. Will the slides be available? Yes. The slides will be, actually, that's a great question. So the slides will be available. I usually take these courses, it's free for the first 7 days, and I actually turn them into just paid courses. So if you want to get the slides, you can just buy the paid course afterwards. Otherwise, you can screenshot all of the content here, but I don't generally put the slides out to my big email list just because it's my intellectual property. Any other questions? Let's see, I do need to jump just a bit early. Okay, so I think, oh, Stacy, summer definitely stands with you. She's been instrumental in my growth so far. Thanks, Coach Stacy. Currently building all of this out, Robin says, with you in Flow Coach Accelerator. I have offers and a manual for a 30-day, working on the rest. Sweet. Okay. Well, I don't see any other questions in the chat. If there are people that want to hang out and chat about your own situation, you can unmute your screen and ask me anything. I'm basically doing free Q&A for the next little bit here. So don't be shy. Introduce yourself. Tell me your biggest thing that you're struggling with, and I'm happy to go over how you might fast track in a solution. Is there anybody that wants to unmute to ask a question? You don't have to unmute your video. You can just do your voice too. Going once.
Chantal, this was actually very helpful, especially because I just recently completed my 200 hour yoga. However, I do have a background with like personal training, also wellness coaching. So I really appreciate the presentation because I think it's really helpful in terms of like expanding into the yoga world, if you will, and then also the offerings. My biggest question that I have is I have also a background that I'm working on for prenatal yoga as well. So my question is in terms of like the online spacing and kind of the way that you were doing your different offerings and stuff like that, is that something that I guess more so, how long have you been working with the Stan store, just out of curiosity?
Stan store I started in October, and so I've only been doing it that long.
Okay, cool. And then in terms of it sounds like it's been fairly simple for you to put those different things together in comparison to like other platforms. Have you worked with any other platforms as well?
Yep, I housed my content on Teachable, and I published about 10 courses on there, and I had my stuff up there for about 8 years, and I migrated everything over to Kajabi, which took about 3 to 4 months, cost several $1,000s. So now all of my courses are on Kajabi. So I've just decided to keep them there. If I was just starting up, I would just start with Stan Store because you can have unlimited courses there. So you could potentially create your offerings. It sounds like you have 2 client avatars. I would say the prenatal niche is it's a much smaller niche. So I would really prioritize your one-on-one coaching and then have prenatal be an option within that versus just marketing to prenatal. I found that since it is such a small niche and it's not a demographic that is like long-term training, the prenatal period is quite short. And so I would encourage you to think about prioritizing one-on-one and offering pre and postnatal as an element of that versus just specializing in prenatal if you're first starting out.
Awesome. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Any other questions from folks?
Hi, this is Megan. I'm not sure if you can hear me. I'm not going to do my video. I got so much chaos happening here. But thank you so much for all this information. I'm starting to try and like work into a niche because I found that I've been teaching for over 20 years and very group class oriented. And stepping into this one-on-one space has been interesting for me in terms of being able to kind of consolidate all of the ideas I have down into like a single avatar versus like everyone and anyone. How do you find like that specific niche? And what I'm working on, because I'm also an ex corporate executive, is really into that burnout area. Now, would you like, is that too small of a niche? Like when I'm starting to look at like how to like custom tailor my program and whatnot, any reflections or thoughts? Just I'm having a hard time transitioning. So any kind of insight around that would be much appreciated.
Sure. I have had several of my Flow Coach Accelerator clients target the burnout population. I've also tried targeting it as well. I would say there's a larger pool of people in the age range of 45 to 65 that want functional movement and yoga and mobility. They want consistency, they want strength, and they want to be able to know they're not going to get hurt, versus the people that identify as burned out is much smaller. And generally that population is hard to work with. And so your marketing and your messaging really matter. Also, if you're experiencing burnout yourself, ask yourself, am I really a good coach to be coaching this if I'm experiencing burnout myself right now and I haven't resolved it myself? So again, I would say you can absolutely incorporate all of the biohacks and all of the, hormone balancing and all that stuff is going to be naturally be in your program. But I think from my experience, targeting people that identify as burned out don't tend to make my best clients. I want clients that are there to move, that are there to be consistent with yoga, versus somebody that just wants like life coaching for burnout. They're going to have a lot of barriers. They might have some mental health stuff going on. And so they're generally a little more apprehensive and not as consistent with showing up. And so I would say, think about the wording that you're using. Does my best client identify as a person that's burned out and overwhelmed? Would they actually call themselves that? Or would you want to attract more clients that are, midlife adults or midlife women that are wanting to optimize wellness and wanting to get consistent and strong and mobile? So I'd say that the wording that you choose, ask yourself, does the client actually use this word to describe themselves? And is that a client that would really energize me to work with?
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Yeah, great questions. Any other questions for the good of the order? Any people that I haven't seen? I see a lot of people in the Flow Coach Accelerator are graduates. Coach Stacy and Izzy just graduated. Feel free to pop on if you want to say anything as well. And I know Marilyn just opened a wellness center. Congrats.
In terms of the programs you have, I know we have another scheduled time tomorrow, but will you be going more in depth on some of those programs tomorrow and like the various options associated with them?
Yeah, so if you're interested in either of the programs, I'll be sending out a follow-up link to book a clarity call, and I have resources for you too, where I actually send out like a hour-long video that's specifically about the program. So just send me a DM and I'll send you that homework video, but it goes into full detail of everything that's covered in comprehensive program design, movement coaching, the functional movement screen, lifestyle coaching, how to price things. So yeah, I'm really about just educating people on the program before they step into it. I don't even hop on clarity calls unless somebody has watched that prep video. So yeah, just send me a DM, Chantel. All right. Anybody else want to share or say hi or ask a question? You guys are asking really good questions.
I'm just going to tap in. I've been working with Summer and I've learned so much so far. It's so educational. I'm not there yet, but I'm getting there. And just within the first month, I've gotten offers up and I've got calls. So just to encourage anyone who is doing one-on-one teaching classes, running around with a chicken, like their head cut off, it can be better. And Summer's definitely been instrumental in helping me streamline that. So just to encourage you all that it is possible, even though it feels like it's not at first.
Thanks, Stacy.
That's it.
Yeah, I totally understand what it can be like to have a million things going. Like, I'm a multi-passionate entrepreneur. I have a diverse offer suite. People often look at how much I'm doing and they're like, whoa, you do too many things. And I want to do so many things. I want to have different services and client avatars. And so I'm not advocating that you just choose one person, but it is truly a skill to be able to program design for a client with a specific chief complaint. And then you can, that skill, which I'm teaching in Flow Coach Accelerator, allows you to create multiple programs for multiple client avatars. So you might have a program that's for males or like people that are construction workers, or you might have a program for women that are struggling with hormone imbalance, or the aging individual that has, you know, is 65 plus with kyphotic spine and, you know, very limited shoulder strength. And so we're developing that skill set of designing a program for a client that's going to get them from their current state to their desired state in the fastest route possible. So yeah, that's what I'm all about. Any other people want to ask questions or give feedback, anything like that? We've stayed a little bit over, so we can call it a day as well.
Hi, Summer. It's Marilyn. I apologize. I had to jump on late. I was in a meeting. Would you be sharing the recording?
Always. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, you're awesome.
Over 100 people that signed up for this. So the recording goes out. It's good it'll expire in 7 days. Watch the recording. If you can't come tomorrow, no worries. And then
Appreciate it.
you've already done a clarity call with me, but if you want to do a second one, you're welcome to hop on.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
All right. Thanks everyone. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you guys tomorrow at 2 p.m.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Thank
Bye.
you.
Mhm.